And here's the magic part. This is what we've got to make. The reason we have to make it is because if I go online, eBay used $72. Cummins, they sell the fuel damper cover, 114 and 35 cents. Otherwise, other sellers want to sell the whole pump assembly with it on it, and that's just not feasible. I'm all for manufacturers and dealers making the money they need to make. However, that's my seventh one of those that I've broken. So I kind of need a new alternative because they're just not making them tight enough. You'd say, well, why don't you check your fuel pressure and back your fuel pressure down? I would simply say this is a non-turboed engine inside this Diamond T. And if you want to make power on a non-turboed engine without putting a turbo on it, you're going to have a little extra fuel pressure. So, safe route, we'll get rid of that. I like having it make some power. So instead of buying more of these, we're just going to manufacture them. And, know that we're not going to sell them. So there's nothing illegal going on there because you really only get in trouble when you try to profit off of something. Whereas I just want to make a couple of my own using my own metal alloys so that when these fail, which they inevitably will, that I've got a few spares laying around that I don't have to wait 2 weeks shipping and pay, right around $100 for. So that's what we're up to here, and I'll show you the process that goes into making your own parts should you choose to bonk your head as hard as I have, let's say. So recently I came up with a problem, and I found a way to fix it, I think. So I bought this. It's a small smelting forge type unit. And the reasoning I did this was because there are a lot of truck parts that are either obsolete or that I don't see have any business costing what they cost. So I thought, well, how do I get around this problem? Because I'm really tired of trying to fight my way to finding parts that either don't exist anymore or that just cost way more than I think. So in an effort here, I said, well, why not manufacture my own parts? How hard could this be? Because honestly, if you crack this nut, then the odds are pretty good that you can A, save a whole bunch of money, and B, have parts on demand. Basically, you're only limited by how long it takes you to make the part. So today we're going to crack open some rigidizer and put a coating on this wool here so that then it can withstand the temperatures of the actual furnace. And we're going to see just how hard it is to make your own parts. So that's kind of where we're at on that goal. It seems to be quite hard to get this cap off of here though. So anyways, we'll cut out of this and get back to it shortly. First time using this new melter. Gotta love the labeling on here. Almost makes me think of Austin Powers. But I've got some blocks that I pre-made for this project. So it's a copper and aluminum, a little bit of aluminum mixed in with it, so it kind of gives it a lighter copper sheen. I kind of like it because it comes out with a nice shine, and I hardly had to try to get that shine, so that's beautiful in my book. Had an extra, but yeah, we'll save that for later. We probably don't need it. So we'll just crank up the heat and see what comes of this. Now we're cooking. Serious heat coming out of that. You could say we're cooking with lard. Haha, pun. Alright, let's see where it's looking. What we can do here. Well, camera doesn't like the heat, but there we go. Had to get better grip on this. Alright. Well, our mold started on fire as expected. Now, let's get this out of the bowl. There we go. That's fairly clean mold. Put that back where it can be safe. Nice hot material. This is how we're going to make manufacturers cry on this one, because I am not buying another one of those parts. They're just a little bit too much to be continually buying. So like this here is similar to what we're going to pull out of that mold, but we'll cut to that in a moment. Alright, let's bust this open and see what we got. Burnt sand. That's a good start. That means that material made it all the way down. Alright. Let's cool this off a little bit. Take you for a journey. This will still require a little bit of cleanup work, but here we have what I made. There's the original. Fairly similar, so I'll get the cleanup work done, and then hopefully we'll be able to test this out within a short time here, because my holes are already marked where they need to be drilled out, which is convenient, and then we can have our own part instead of having to continually buy these darn things. And here you have it. We have successfully made the part we need to make. Here's the original, the Cummins version. Here's mine. There's a couple imperfections in the casting, but overall, I'm not worried about those because the main fracture line was across the center. And so that's the point we're mainly worried about, is just strengthening up this middle part here. So I would say overall, for something that I whipped together in a very short amount of time, mind you, it's you know, there's a process when you're making a part. You know, if you got to make the mold for it, which we did that, you've got to pour it and let it cool, do the cleanup work. But I suspect that that will be better than that, because like the aluminum version has kind of a very thin sound to it, and the copper has a pretty solid sound to it. So I think that'll be a little stronger, might do a little better holding up to the fuel pressures we're shooting for here. And with any luck, you know, when the next aluminum one breaks that's on there right now, we're going to try copper. And if that don't work, then we'll take a little bit more time and do a better cast and try that. If that doesn't work, we'll try brass, and we'll beef up the edge a little bit, because the edge line, there's plenty of room in there. We can put more material. The other part is we could also make it thicker. So we could basically stack these two together and make it that thick and just, you know, beef it up that way too. And then see what breaks next. You know, it's the cost of trying to get more out of something when it doesn't want to give you more. You know, a lot of people would say, well, it's foolish to do that, because if you can hold the pressure here, then how about the rest of your system? Well, simple answer is we're going to tackle that one piece at a time, and we're just going to basically keep going until nothing breaks. And if we can't do that, well, maybe we'll find a different motor. Who knows? That's the future me talking. So anyway, that's a simple explanation of how you can make your own part, how you can avoid paying the price. You know, you can either pay in money or pay in time. I choose to pay in time because time is easy. I've got lots of that. So, till next time, stay safe, keep it on the road, and we'll talk with you soon.